Let me ask you something. What is the question that won't leave you alone?
What keeps you up at night?
I'm Ronald Ndoro.
And I'm Dr. Maurice Stinnett. Together, we're creating space for conversations that challenge everything.
This is Existential Thoughts, a podcast about living deeply in a shallow world.
We're going to sit with leaders, thinkers, and creatives and invite you to pause with us as we wander into the depths of freedom, rest, and meaning.
We're not here for easy answers. We're here to create space for reflection, for story, for truth. What's your name again? Is it Charlene?
He's starting off already with this shit. He's already doing this is my girl right here. This is my girl right here. Don't start that. Don't start that. Here we go.
See that?
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you that don't know,
Yes.
that's my little sister.
Yes.
Her name's Charlene.
Yes.
Thank you. You call me Charlene.
What did you usually call you?
Shorty.
Shortness.
Shortness. And you're not even short, so what's that about?
She used to be short.
When
What is this?
7 years older than me. There was never a time I'm ever going to be taller than him.
Never. Like, what is this? She's not short.
You know, you get a nickname and it's this.
Okay. That's fair. Okay.
But let me do my intro.
Yes, properly
Never
do.
mind
Yes.
the fact that you're my sister.
Yes.
Welcome to
Existential Thoughts.
Exactly. Welcome to Existential Thoughts. Right? So now everyone knows. Welcome to Existential Thoughts.
Welcome. I'm happy to see you, Charlene.
So
good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
So I'm not going to interview my own sister.
No, absolutely not. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to. Charlene, welcome. First of all, I love you. You know that you're like my little sister. So let's get into this. We're going to talk about Ronald a little bit because I want folks to know the real deal about Ronald. Talk to me about little Ronald. What was he all about? What was he like?
Well, I could never say little Ronald because I'm younger than him.
Yes.
So he's always been bigger
Yes.
in that regard.
Yeah.
But the Ronald that nobody knows.
Yes, that's what I want to talk about. Yes.
Well, that's my big brother.
Okay.
You know, my only brother.
Okay.
Big brother. So, and you know, I hate to say this on here, but he's awesome. He's
okay.
great. He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. Like in terms of who he is, what he's accomplished, and just being an awesome big brother. He's definitely been like somebody I've looked up to, somebody who's helped guided me in everything that I've done.
Yeah.
You know, a voice of reason.
I love that.
You know, when I've been on my own journeys, he's always been somebody I could call, ask for guidance, for support.
Yeah.
You know, just to how to navigate different things. So in that perspective, he's definitely been like an awesome big brother.
Did I used to do your homework for you? Like,
did you?
That's funny. That's funny. I don't think we should be calling it out right now. Like you would.
Listen.
She's saying nice things about you, and then you do this. He does this shit. You're saying nice things, and he's like, "You're not doing your homework too." Like Ronald, let her finish. Like
I'm just trying to demonstrate how awesome I am.
Yeah, precisely.
He definitely helped me with my law. Exams and I won't say exams, but like studies. You know, when I did international business in school, and I would call him and ask him for help to proofread it, to make sure that I'm on the right track and writing the right thing. So he definitely didn't do my homework, just in case they revoke my degree.
We need to clarify that. Let's clarify that.
I don't think anyone cares.
Right.
That's right. And he's still holding with the story. I did do this homework. So tell me a soft story. Tell me something nice when you were in childhood that you remember about your brother, your big brother. Talk to me about something, a nice soft story that you're like, oh.
A nice soft story.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually a hard one. Like to fish back.
Is it hard?
What's a nice soft story?
I don't know. Like I have to think of.
I mean, Ron, you used to brag on yourself. I'm sure you know something soft. You know, nothing soft.
No, I will say like when he was in the nightlife, and I'll say this is like how awesome he was, and a nice story. At like 15, like all my friends will be going to like these teenage clubs, and I would ask my mom, and she'll say no. But then for some weird reason, she would let me go to the clubs that are over 18 with him.
Okay.
So that was kind of nice being able to be like,
and he was okay with taking you.
And he would take me.
Okay.
And he would,
to be fair though, so I remember a story like when you left home and you went to university in Manchester, and I think it was like her first experience away from home fully. And she got drunk.
Okay.
And she like called me and she's like throwing up.
Okay.
And she's like, I need to talk to my big brother. And she was like crying and like
Okay, if you're talking about sob story, I was having I thought the idea of leaving home, I was so excited to do it. But the reality, as soon as I got there, hit me so hard. And I was just like, I don't want to be here. I miss home. So I did go out with my friend, got drunk, called him. I was like, I need to talk. I kind of was
it's like 3 a.m.
Mad at him at first. I knew he was going to be up.
Of course.
So, but then I was mad at first. Like, why did you leave me here? You guys just left me here. Why would you do that? And all of that. But it was just good that I was able to call him and just vent and cry. And he'd be like, you've got this. Go to sleep.
You're going to be okay.
Just go to sleep. You'll feel better in the morning.
Right.
So Ron has always been there for you, it seems like, again, through different periods of your life. So talk to me, transition to your professional side. After you graduated from university, you went on to work and you've seen what he was doing. What were you gleaming? What were you seeing your big brother doing in business that might have motivated or inspired you?
So I'd say from a young age, I definitely wanted to get into music business. Okay. So that was always something that for me was an ambition and a goal for myself to do. And with him being in nightlife and promoting clubs and bringing in celebrities and different people, I was around a lot of that. There'll be shows that he...
Yeah, and she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. Maybe even longer than that.
Well, okay, so...
What's going on with the 2-week gap? What happened? What's the story there?
So with that one, as most teenagers, you always have this one celebrity that you have the biggest crush on.
Oh, absolutely. Who was your big celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush was Genuine.
Okay, and shout out to Genuine. Okay.
She had posters in her room.
The whole nine. Okay. And he basically was doing a night where Genuine was going to be in attendance. I think it was Dame Dash, Kanye, and a whole bunch of other people. And Dame Dash was on the invite list and he was going to be in attendance. Okay. And at the time, my brother would, every time he did these big events, rather than going and paying somebody else to go and run the door, he would rope me into running the door.
Okay. So she's family. I trust her.
That makes sense.
So if I want to get someone to look after my money,
it's going to be your sister. Okay.
Yeah, so this is early 2000s, right? Most transactions are cash, right? Yeah. So people are coming, they're paying 20, 50 pounds, whatever it is.
That makes sense.
We're making 5-10 grand on the door.
Yeah.
Right.
I want my sister on it.
I'm I want to take my little 16, 17-year-old sister.
Right,
she
not
can
even
sit
legal.
there.
Okay.
She can count, but also she shouldn't be in the club, right? Because she's young. So you stay at the door and you count money.
Okay.
But she's the one thing I need you to do for me is when Genuine comes, I need to meet him. Okay. And I say, sure, no problem.
Because what he did, the thing is, he didn't even have to tell me he was going to be on the list.
Okay.
You want me to stay at the door? Don't tell me he's going to be coming.
Yeah.
So when he said, oh, guess who's coming? Genuine. I was like, well, now.
It was quite natural. It was quite natural he's going to introduce you.
Yeah,
you had posters in the room.
Of course.
It makes sense. Yeah, of course. It makes sense. Let me know.
Of course.
Okay, but picture this scenario, though.
I mean, what scenario is this? She's working the door for you.
There's 3,000-4,000 people in this space.
Okay.
I'm running it.
That's great.
So I'm busy as hell.
That makes
sense. She's at my door, right? Genuine comes over. So what am I doing? Am I going, Genuine, come, let me take you over to my sister and let me make a quick intro? Or am I working?
Wait. Are you building a case on why you didn't introduce?
Is
that what this is? Yeah, I'm like, is it playing about the land? What was he doing right here? Yeah, exactly. Land is playing. What the hell are we talking about right now?
I'm at the door. I'm working hard. I'm 16, 17. Right. I've got these 21 plus year olds people harassing me at the door, trying to get in. I'm doing my darnest to be very on top of my P's and Q's. Yeah. So I'm thinking, Genuine's going to come. I'm going to get a toilet break.
Yeah.
Go. 5 minutes. I can go.
I'll get something.
So Genuine came in on the side entrance, didn't come through the main door.
Okay.
So I didn't even know.
Because you don't get celebs walking through the main door, right?
Okay.
So how I found out is they radio it into security, who's right next to me. They were like, Genuine, or there's something. And I was like...
So you wait on your call. I know my call gonna come. Yeah.
What's going on?
I know my call coming. Yeah.
And I can't remember if he came down to the door.
I came down to the door at one point, and I think you asked me to go in, and I said no.
Yeah, so I was like,
look, the door's busy. We're trying to make money.
Sheesh.
I'm busy. Genuine's in there surrounded by a mob. I'm not gonna
Ronald, we don't need to hear the excuses. This is your kid. So don't want to hear all that. Don't worry.
I'm working hard.
Right. This is your kid.
I'm working for child labor prices too.
You're free labor.
Exactly. So I'm not even getting paid the real deal. Right. So at this point, give me something.
Crazy.
So he tells me no, and somehow I went upstairs, or somehow you finally came back and like, we're like later. Fine, you can go. At this point, he's gone.
Wow.
So
really, but there were other people. I think Dame Dash was
there with somebody.
But before you go to that was the 2 week not talking.
No, so she talked to me that night because I had to drive back home.
Of course, but she was.
But after that,
because I was really highly upset. So
of course you should have.
So with that one, and also Dame Dash was there, Kanye was there. At the time, like Dame was somebody who, you know, in the music industry, like really like the whole Rockefeller moments and everything. And I wanted to get in the music business, so he's somebody I was looking up to and all of that. So I'm thinking, okay, no, Genuine, maybe Dame, whatever.
Something.
Nobody.
Did you ever circle around and meet anybody? Did he redeem himself? Did anything good, like any connection happen?
No. No, because there's so many stories where he has literally like been like, it's right here, dangled it.
That's crazy work, bro.
And then,
but listen, this is like a full circle moment, right? Because we're going to talk about her journey,
of course,
individually, and also where she's at, what she's doing. Because she's a whole, like I'm great, but she's a whole entity.
I want to hear about
all by herself, right? So when we talk about her story, like those stories become irrelevant.
Okay.
But what I would like to say is maybe I set the foundation.
No,
if I'm gonna get some credit.
Wow, this guy, he's incredible. This man
takes credit for
he established his own credit. I'm just like, what is this? What is happening right now?
But in all actuality, I will say he definitely did give me like inspiration into kind of be like, okay, there's a different path that's not traditional that you can actually take. Excellent. So the things that you're passionate about, you can actually like fulfill those and do those things. So he was foundational, very instrumental, moving to New York. He actually is the one that helped me like convince my mom to let me go because that wasn't...
Yeah, because you're like 20 or
I was 20 and I was like,
so
I was like, well, I'm going to go and get this internship at Def Jam.
Oh, yeah.
And mom's like, okay, but you're coming back to finish your school, your degree, right?
What's going on?
I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, but he's the one that behind, closed doors, he was like, no, just let her go. She'll figure it out. She'll navigate it.
And tell me about your parents, though. Double click right there because they need to understand the cultural context of what that looked like.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. So my mom's Zimbabwean.
Okay.
So African parents.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to get a traditional degree.
That's what I'm saying.
He knows. He went to law school.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And for me, when I wanted to go into music, there was no ever an inkling of like, you're going to do a music business degree. You've got to do something that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I did international business.
Okay.
And then when it was like, well, I want to go and work at the record label, it was like,
what is
this? What is this record label? What is this record label that you want to do?
Exactly.
Like, what is that?
Hey, let's not trash my mother. So
no, but she's awesome.
I'm kidding.
Like that's what I'm saying. She's awesome. She's the reason why I'm still doing what I do now but it was really trying to get her to come around. Like African parents don't, for them, they see a certain, like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Path to success.
Right. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to be an accountant.
That's what I was thinking. I've heard this. Exactly.
You're going to do those traditional paths is what's going to make you, like, have a successful and beautiful life. Yeah. But if you have, like, passions outside of that, entrepreneurship, working in music and entertainment, it's like, how's that sustainable?
Exactly.
How is that going to actually, like, make sure that you're good and successful?
Okay. So it's about security.
Right. So even though they see, like, the celebrities who are doing it, for them, it's just like one in a million.
I actually feel slightly sorry for our older sister because she came first, right? So she couldn't break the mold. She had to get a traditional mold. So,
what does she do? What's the older sister?
So she's an IT consultant.
Shout out to older sister, IT consultant. You know what I mean? What's her name?
Jackie.
All right,
Jackie.
Works for Sky, but the beauty of that is, amidst all of this, is I think she makes the most money out of it.
So the parents were right.
That is the joke.
There's a joke. The plot twist is she's actually making more than us. So there's that.
So it actually works, but she obviously was the first, had to be the one that did things by the book.
Blazed the trail. He
came in. He was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna meet you halfway, do this degree
and then
thing.
You just blew it out the water.
And then I was kind of like, okay,
I'm not doing any of
that.
So talk to me. You get to New York. So he alluded to this. So let's transition. I want to know more about you. So you get to New York and talk to me about the path and what you did and some major brands. First, list off the brands you worked for once you got yourself over here in situated.
So once I got over here, I worked for Def Jam. I worked for Sony Music. Okay. I worked for Puma, I worked for T-Mobile, I currently work for New Balance now.
All right.
So, you know, unlike not being sustainable that my mum had the fear of, I found a way.
You found a way.
I definitely made it. Like
okay.
he said, you should go figure it out.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get back to this. So she didn't talk to me for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Right? But let's talk about, so she was really mad. So obviously Dame Dash, Kanye.
This is 2004
Genuine.
Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like you gotta be.
So just before College Dropout, I think.
Yeah,
Like
just
literally,
before,
it was like
yes.
he was about to drop it.
All right,
so it was just before.
Okay.
And we did a Kanye party like in London, right? So, but now who calls you? Who do you send shoes to? Who do you talk to? Do you know what I mean? So you've worked with like literally some of the biggest names in
music. So it
industry,
became a full circle moment. Like he's doing the nightlife, he's doing these events, bringing all these people over. I'm there, like little sister, doing the door for him, not meeting them, being like, but I want to work in the industry. I moved to Def Jam, and at the time Jay is running Def Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm working for Skane, who basically works under Jay-Z and all those guys. And Jay's office is literally 2 doors from Skane's.
Okay.
So this is somebody who came to my brother's club years ago, and now I'm literally working
There you go.
for him, full circle moment. Dame Dash, party happens, all of those kinds of stuff. But now I send shoes to Dame. I talk to Dame on a regular, you know, just checking in and things like that. He sends me, you know, tells me what's going on with his wife, his son, his family, and stuff. So to think like 20 years later.
Oh, that's wild.
You're like in the middle of it.
I'm in the middle of it. I'm having these
conversations,
direct conversations with the people. I'm the one who's direct contact in getting these things. So, you know, went to Def Jam, was there for a few years.
Pause for a moment. Did you see that for yourself? And you just named all. You just named drop. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to rush that shit. Like you just, I would go name Jay and we texting and calling. This is like. Did you have that vision for yourself? Did you see yourself being able to operate and navigate in that space like that?
I would say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, to the point of like, it was a driving force to get into the industry. And obviously in the industry, you know, once you make it, those relationships become a part of what you're doing a day to day. And obviously the harder you work, the more connected you are, you know, the more influence you have. So it's like, okay, you work hard, you do what you need to do, then it can get there. Right. The no part is I was still a girl from London at the time when, you know, I was saying now with social media and globalization, the reach of like music and entertainment, like internationally is a lot more closer. Whereas now there's so many more people in the UK, in London, connected to these same people. Whereas before, in that time, it was kind of like, hey, you're just a girl from London.
An outsider.
Trying to go to New York, the mecca of music, and really like, you know, do what you need to do, but you're doing it with people who've grew up around them, who've been around them, who are connected with them. So you've got to really kind of carve your own way. Like, yes, my brother's been doing his thing in London, but you're now in New York.
New York, baby. It's a different monster.
Thing.
Yeah, and you're blazing your own trail.
Exactly. Wow. So that's the part where it's kind of like, yeah, I did, but then at the same time, it was kind of like, can you really do that, though?
How'd you get over the hump, though? Talk to these people about, like, what was it in you to help you get over the hump, to get over the fear, to keep going after it?
I just think it's just a part of just, like, you just got to keep going. Like, I was seeing my brother keep going in what he does and everything. You know, my Zimbabwean name is Shingiri Rai. It means perseverance. So part of me feels like that's kind of been in me from birth, like just to keep persevering, just to keep going, just to keep doing it, regardless of like what gets thrown in your way, what obstacles you face, or if it looks impossible, if somebody tells you no, you just keep going. So with that, I think that's just something that I've just innate. And then like my mom as well, like she's somebody that we can speak loads about her. She's just a fighter, a warrior.
She's achieved a lot more than she should have, if that makes any sense. I mean, obviously she's achieved it, so she should have achieved it. But what I mean by that is that when people look at her, it's like, how did you get all of this? Like literally, like the house we live in London, like people will turn up, like an Uber driver will drop me off at my mother's house and goes, is this your house? And I go, yeah, it's my mother's house. Like she got this, she did this all by herself as well for the most part. Do you know what I mean? So it's exceptional. And you know, and she was a driving force. And I think if we're driven, a lot of that comes from her.
Yeah.
So you said your mother, and hats off to your mom and major respect. Where was your father in this picture, if you don't mind me asking?
Non-existent.
Yes.
Okay.
So raised by a single mum for the most part.
For the most part,
3 children, yeah.
Oh, wow. She is
3 children.
Badass.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well
and
done.
super successful. So
wow. Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Moms. What's Mom's name? Yeah.
Roslyn.
All
Yeah,
right, Mom
shout out.
Boots Roslyn. Shout out to Moms.
Exactly.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah, no, she's done a really good job.
Yeah, she's built in that resilience in you all, and that indefatigable spirit and disposition. So here we are talking about these existential thoughts with your brother now.
Right.
Hey, we've come full circle
Yeah.
and thinking about this. Like, talk to us and unpack that. Like, Ron, you've had some ways of asking this question.
Of course. I mean, look, so obviously you've had an interesting upbringing. I've got lots of stories, but I'm not going to share them right this minute. But what would you say has been, I guess, your driving force or the thought that has spurred you or kept you up at night? And obviously we have, as people, we have lots of those, right? But there has to be the one or several, but you can pick one, that you kind of want to go, I really want to unpack this. I really want to talk about this. What is that? What is that existential thought that you've had?
I would say, am I living in my full purpose?
I would say no. But that's because
I'm savoring this moment. Like, I was drawn in, right? You saw me. I gave the.
He's like, no.
He's like, I would say no. What the hell is this about? Who does that, man?
Listen. That was,
this is your brother. He wouldn't even let you finish.
Right. He was like, no.
Wow.
That was entertainment value. So
okay. Right.
But there's some truth to it where I feel that as well, and I feel like more strongly now more than ever. It's like, am I living in in the alignment of my full purpose?
The thing is, though, Maurice, is if you're asking the question, the answer is always no, right? And in all seriousness, right? So if you're asking the question, the answer is always no, which means that there are things that are unanswered. So when you answer those questions, then you don't have to ask the question anymore. And that's what we're doing here, right? Like we're reflecting on what we're doing and where we're at and where we're going. But if you're asking the question, it means that you're not there, because if you were there, you wouldn't be asking that question. You'd be asking a different question, right? So the answer is always no.
And with that being the case, do you agree with that you feel like the answer is no?
The answer is definitely no, yeah.
All right, so then now the question has to be, what is the path?
Yes.
Right? Now we've answered that it's no.
Yes.
Now what?
What's missing? What can we do?
Yeah.
Like how do we become more? I mean, and I can give you my perspective, obviously on the outside looking in. She's my younger sister. I've known her,
of course,
since she was born. So I've known her for as long as she's existed.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think that you have always been not conflicted per se, but like you've always been uncertain about how much to push forward, if that makes any sense. So you'll push forward to a point, and I think you're really successful. Like I think you've done really well, and I'm very, very proud of you. Like I think you've done exceptionally well. I think you've, like I said, we've had lots of full circle moments where I'm calling her, saying. So I remember there was a time when I went to New York and you introduced me to, was it Big Joe?
Oh yeah, Big Joe. Yeah.
He was what's his name's manager, the rapper. Anyway, there was a rapper,
Sure.
I can't remember his name now. He needed a tour manager for the UK. Big Joe was his manager. And you introduced me to him. He was like, yeah, do you want to be his tour manager for the UK? Because Big Joe couldn't travel.
Right.
Because he had a criminal record.
There you go.
But,
she's making the connection.
But she's making the connection now, right? So she's bringing me in now. So I'm at the Def Jam offices at Universal. They're in the Universal building. And, she's connecting me, right? So the relationship kind of flipped over a little bit.
Oh, I saw that myself where she dressed you for the photo shoot.
I mean, she did.
She styled you and did a great job.
And where did I get the clothes from?
Yeah.
New Balance.
New Balance. I saw it in firsthand.
Like a whole New Balance wardrobe.
It looked great.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is you have gone on this journey, and I think you've done really well. But I think you can do a lot more. Like I think you I don't know why. Like, but I think you press pause or you slow down or whatever it is. A little bit on that journey, but I think you're halfway there. Like I think you can do a lot more.
Does that resonate?
To answer your own question.
It definitely does. And I think it's because it's something over the last, I turned 40 in March.
Right.
And I'll say come leading into that. And afterwards, it's where that question of like, am I living in my full purpose? And everything has kind of been rising from. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was turning 40. Yeah. So
you get to a point and you ask those questions. It's true.
And in part of my reflection, I'll say I'm probably still trying to like figure out what that is.
That makes sense.
I've realized that there is kind of a Charlene of 20 years ago that didn't care what her mother really thought about her going to New York. She was gonna go regardless. And she was gonna make things happen and she was gonna walk into that Def Jam office and she was gonna do what she needed to do and she was gonna figure it out. But then there is now me where I probably do pause a little bit more in, should I do this? How much should I give more of this, or should I go in this direction?
But you know what's really interesting about that? I think it very much is an existential thought. I think a lot of people get to a place, and I think we're having a conversation earlier with another guest, and they were saying that they made this decision, they got brave, and they just went and did it, right? Which is kind of like what you did when you wanted to move to New York. But I think as you get older, that bravery gets watered down for whatever reason.
Do you think that's the case? Let's pause though. I don't think it's the bravery gets watered down.
You have more
I think your awareness of the consequences increase.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we're younger and youthful, we don't think, we don't think as much about the consequences. I'm gonna go and run up, jump over this thing, and if I fall down, I'll just bounce back up. When you 40, well, you think about how you better, I'm gonna ease over this,
how you land?
Yeah, how you gonna land? So I think there's some things to that I would say to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I think we mentioned this point before, where you gain experience, but you lose something, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have that innocence. So you haven't been burnt before, right? So, but now you've been burnt a few times. You know that you're taking a risk. You know that you might fail, and you go, do I pursue or do I slow down and do I just relax? So that makes it a harder decision. But the question is, should you change? Should you slow down? Should you let past experiences affect your future decisions? Or should you just go all out? Because look, you've been successful up until this point. Yeah. So if you keep the same mentality, the argument is that you would stay on the same trajectory. Yeah. I mean, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, what do you think about that? How do that land?
But then what I would say, which is probably part of the existential like thoughts that keep you up at night, if you're going to continuously have those thoughts of like, you should be doing something else or something more than what you're currently doing now, then the staying on the trajectory that you're on, which is safe, isn't probably the best thing, because those thoughts are going to continue keeping you up at night until you finally do something about them.
Correct.
So what is the solution? Like between the both of you, like I'm asking both of you. I mean, I have some ideas, but what do you think is, because I don't think it's just us. I think everyone is afflicted by this process, by this thought. You know, it's like, I'm here, I want to be here. But this journey between here and there requires me to sacrifice. And I think sacrifice is a really crucial word. But am I prepared to, right? Because that comes at a cost, and can I afford it? So what do you do? Like, what is the solution to that?
I think that's where it's probably more now about preparation.
Okay.
Where, I can't remember what that saying is, where, something about preparation.
Preparation meets something.
Opportunity, yeah. So I think now, whereas the younger you, the more bullish you is just going to jump without, without the parachute and not care about how you're landing. It's now more so about like, preparing, like, okay, I'm going to take this jump. What does that look like? Not even what does that look like, but I'm going to take this jump, and these are the things I need to put in place to make sure I take this jump.
Okay.
For me, I hear you. For me, I played with this, right? And so I'm on the fence. I'm gonna come from a different angle. I feel like I'm learning contentment without the idea of settling. Because I feel like that the suffering is in the yearning.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
The suffering's in this yearning for something different, for something more. And we're always yearning, chasing. And I'm like, there has to be a space of contentment, right? And so I'm trying to cultivate healthy contentment that is not settling, that's not couched in fear, right? That's still nurturing and challenging, but there has to be room for healthy contentment. So that's what I'm kind of in the in between of figuring that out, right? Because my whole life was spent with yearning for something more. And so I'm kept up every damn night, right? So there has to be a place of contentment and rest. Because we're talking about this whole rest, right? We're talking about this rest. And my mind was always racing because of what's next and what's more and what's on.
You're always hustling.
And losing sight on what you're sleeping in a beautiful bed. You're in a beautiful home. You're driving a beautiful car. You have a wonderful car. And it's like, so where is the space for that contentment at, right? Without the sense of settling. So that's what I'm wrestling with.
So I really think that, like, honestly, both to your points, I think moments of stillness, moments of reflection, you know, which is obviously why we're doing this podcast in the first place, is quite crucial and vital to balance it out. Because like you said, like, you know, obviously we're all on a journey, and on that journey, like, you'll get to a certain place where you go, am I satisfied? Am I not satisfied? But in order to appreciate your level of satisfaction, you've got to be grateful, right? You've got to be, there's got to be levels of gratitude. So everything you've achieved, like you said, you've got a nice house, you've got a nice car, you've got a nice bed, you're warm, all of these things,
good family,
right? You got a good family,
health.
you got good relationships, you know, like, you're doing all these wonderful things. So I think if you start from there, but in order to appreciate those things, I think you just need to stand still.
Absolutely. And be present with them.
And be present, right? So living in the present, being in the moment, appreciating where you are, appreciating what you've done, I think is absolutely vital. And then once you've done that, you can then decide, what do you want your next step to be? And what do you want, you know, like, you've crafted the life that you have now. What do you want the next phase of your life to look like? And what is it going to take to get there? Because now you're older, now you have this experience, and now you have a better understanding of what's required, basically what the sacrifice is. So once you understand the steps and the sacrifices that need to be made, then you make a bold decision. But either way, whether you choose to move forward or don't choose to move forward, you're good, because you know what? You've considered both possibilities, and you're choosing the thing that sits well with you. So you're never yearning for more, and you're never dissatisfied with where you are, because you've taken the time to pause and make a decision about which side of the fence you want to be on. You want to be on the everyday grind, pushing hard, pushing the envelope, so you can go from 100,000 to 1 million, from 1 million to 1 billion, right? Whatever that journey looks like. Or are you like, you know what, I've done it. I've made it. I've created this life. I've had these relationships. I'm happy with the people around me. I want to just maintain where I'm at, and this makes me content. I think just to go back to your point.
So to that though, I think what I'm talking about is less about not about the contentment, because I'm very content with the life that I've had and the life that I've built. Yeah. It's that nagging feeling that I was put on this earth to do more.
Right.
So it's not even about acquiring more things that I have.
So what is your purpose?
So am I living? That's the part. Yeah. So what am I living in my true purpose?
That makes so much sense.
But do you know what it is?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I think growing up, or when I was younger, going in this journey, I think I construed passion with purpose.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Okay.
So,
and I think a lot of people do that.
So I went through, in music entertainment, that's always been a passion and forever will be a passion. But I think for the longest, I held on to that, being like, no, I'm living in my purpose because this is what I'm supposed to do.
That makes sense.
Because I was passionate about it. But now when I start to think back and think, or have those thoughts of like, am I living in my true purpose? Because one of the things that, I would say this probably started like years ago when Kobe died, and how like the world reacted to his dying. And I'm not saying I want to be Kobe or even to be revered in that way. But the one thing, and I said this to a few of my friends, is like, you know what? I just don't want to like one day I die and then it's like she did da 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 and then she died.
Yeah, of course.
There was like, what is actually the thing that lives long before me?
So when you're talking about purpose, you're talking about legacy as well, right? So it's like what are you building beyond where you are?
Exactly.
Now? What will outlive you?
Exactly. So that's the part where really am I living in my purpose?
That makes sense.
So it's like less about the contentment.
That makes sense.
I'm just saying content.
Am I living in my purpose? Let me add to that though. I've thought about that. I love how you said when you were younger, you would confuse passion for purpose. I want to further agitate this whole, am I living in my purpose? And I'm going to personalize it and say, I think I had confused external validation with purpose.
Right.
People affirming me and their purpose for me and applauding me to do and to be a certain way. then I thought, well, this must be what I should be.
Yeah.
And I even internalized those expectations that I think I'm still second guessing. I could be squarely living in my purpose right now, but the voices of those haunt me with the expectations they had of me.
Of
course. So maybe that's keeping me up at night because it's not even my damn voice in my head, right? It's like, this is what they thought I should become.
Yeah,
and now in some way deep down, I feel inadequate because I'm not like a big time preacher, right? I just put my cards on the table. Everybody thought growing up, oh, he's going to be and I'm like, okay, no, right? And that's not what I really want to do. I don't mind.
To be fair though, Maurice, you kept some of the preacher vibes there.
Listen, you know that. Listen.
Energy's like,
listen. The preacher die hard, okay? It's going to die hard. But the point is, there was a lifestyle that went along with that. Anyway, but the point I'm saying, I knew that wasn't meant for me for a vocation, okay?
Yes,
all right. I had the skill, and I thank God for the abilities and all the good things. But I was just thinking when you said, I was like, how much of this that's keeping me up at night about my purpose is really me? Right. Or the voices that have influenced me, or the thoughts that have, right? So that I just was thinking about that, like, because others may be out there thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know?
Exactly,
That's what I was just thinking about that. But yeah, I think that was a great way to ask it, right? I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for that, but I think it's pretty cool that's why we're doing. We're thinking and ruminating. And
listen, we're learning.
We're learning.
We're all learning because I don't think we all have the answers, and I don't think necessarily that the answers are there. Sure. But I think if you spend enough time reflecting, you'll find meaning in the reflection. And I think if you find meaning, then you can find your own path. And I think we're all here. We're all different, unique individuals, and we all have our own path set out for us. And I think once you go on that journey and you're conscious enough and mindful enough, I think you can find whatever path you've set out for yourself. And I think on that journey, like, there's going to be stumbling blocks, there's going to be whatever, but on that you can definitely carve out something that works for you, right? And I think that's really what we're trying to do, just make sure that everyone gets to a place. So in this movement, we want to get people thinking consciously about where they are, where they want to be, what works, what doesn't work, what you need to remove from your life, and what you need to add in. Once you know what those two things are, I think your life becomes a lot simpler because you can move with purpose. Just going back to purpose, right? I had an interesting question though. I mean, I know we're about to wrap this up, but I had an interesting question. My question was, how does one know what their purpose is?
That's an interesting one because I do.
How does anyone know what their purpose is?
It's true because that's something that I ask myself, what is my purpose? Again, not trying to make it a passion, not trying to make it something that other people are saying I should be doing, but I don't know. Is
it one of those things like when you fall in love? Like how do you know you're in love, right? Like how do you know you love someone? Like, aside from your family, which is like, you have to, right? But like, how do you know that this is the one? How do you know that this is the commitment? How do you know this is the thing? Is purpose the same as love in terms of how you find it?
I feel like maybe it's when you feel like everything is in alignment.
Alignment is important. I agree.
And I think that's probably when you feel like, okay, I am living in my purpose because things are.
But what if you come out of alignment? Does that mean that's not your purpose anymore?
But I don't think sometimes people's purpose is for a lifetime or for forever. Your purpose might literally be for a short period of time.
And
then it changes.
I think for me, I'm going to settle with I just don't know. And I think I've wanted to be able to nail down a definition for it because that made me feel some sense of comfort with that certainty. But I think finding purpose is a lot of uncertainty. I think it's a lot of trial and error. I think the purpose of life is to just live it. And I think you explore while you're living, you fail, you stumble, you try, you reevaluate. And I've concluded that that's the purpose. The purpose is for life to be lived and explored. And on the journey, at the end of the day, you may figure it out, you may never figure it out, but you tried. And that's where I land.
Can I try and give a definition?
Go ahead. I'd love to hear it.
I'd love to hear it.
Because I spend a lot of time thinking, which is
too much sometimes.
Which is why we have this podcast in the first place, right?
Please.
So existential thoughts. So I think that your purpose is defined by the thing you feel compelled to do. And when I say compelled, it's almost like you don't have a choice but to get up and go do it. So you go, I wanted to do something else, but now I'm doing this, right? It's like a pull, right? When something pulls you, I feel like that is your purpose, right? Because different things will pull you at different times. But I think like I felt compelled, like I felt the compulsion of needing or wanting to do something or needing or wanting to achieve it. Like if you look at my entire career path, right, even though I've done lots of different things, they're all like there's a similarity, there's like a running theme through all of them. Like there's a little strand that kind of like attaches every single little thing that, and it's funny, right? Because my current website, which is my personal website, is called Ron Mind, which is also the name of my first son. His name's Aaron Mind, right? So, but Aaron Mind is, so I feel like the legacy component, the push to create something that outlives us, going back to purpose, right? So the thing you're compelled to do tends often to be the thing that will outlive you, right? Like, so you're building something. So the ability to build something and create something. So think about like the world we live in, like those, we were talking about London earlier and like the architecture. Those buildings weren't built by the people that are there now, right? But someone felt a compulsion to do those things and create those things. And now we have those things living forever. I don't know what their names are. I actually don't care what their names are. But my point is, for those people, that's what gave, I think, their lives meaning at the time that they were doing it.
Again, I think that's a great place to kick it to the audience that's listening to us.
Absolutely.
And get their thoughts. I'd love to get some of their feedback. I don't think we want to solve it today because on the next one, I want to interrogate that because there's a lot of compulsions and things I feel compelled to do that I'm not necessarily sure. So we'll save that for the next one as we wrap up. But I couldn't appreciate you more for being with us today. This was fun.
Yes.
This was exactly what I thought it would be.
Yes.
And we can't wait to have you back again. And you're amazing. You're incredible. And we love you to pieces. Short.
Thank you guys for having me. No, it's been a pleasure. And
I'll see you for dinner later.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Rest isn't weakness. Rest is strategy. Rest is survival. Rest is resistance.
And resistance becomes a life worth living. This isn't just a podcast. This is a movement.
So join us every week starting this season.
Subscribe now to Existential Thoughts.